Happy Sunday, everybody. We're here live.
Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining us today on our live show.
Yeah.
We are Jill and Jerry, the Cruising Canucks.
And today we are going to be talking about pricing for cruising. Black Friday's coming up. Everybody's asking me, are you looking for the deals? So let's talk all about cruise pricing today, including exactly that.
Well, hello and a happy Sunday afternoon, evening, morning, depending on where you are. It could be even a Monday morning for some.
And this is our weekly podcast. And 2 o'clock every Sunday afternoon is when you'll find us here talking all about cruising. And if you don't catch us, it's also on replay on YouTube. It also shows up as a podcast on Spotify, Apple Music, all those good spots where you find your podcasts. So today we are motivated by the dollars and cents of cruising.
Yes, so many people ask us this time of the year, should I book a cruise now? Should I wait for the Black Friday deals? What kind of Black Friday deals are there? We're hearing from people that have already booked cruises saying, should we refare? Can we get a Black Friday deal? So we thought, let's talk this out.
Yeah, and truth be known, in the last several years, we've had a tough time finding Black Friday sales. But today, not only about us, we've done a little bit of research, we have a little bit of experience, but also all of you are out there doing the same thing as us. If you're tuning in today, you're probably also looking for good prices and deals, and you have some experience. So we want to hear from you.
Yes.
What have you found that works? What's realistic when it comes to Black Friday? Is it the time to book your cruise? And all that good stuff. So we're going to get into it. We have a couple things to cover real quick. What was recent content? So last week, the only video we managed to get out was the traveling from Toronto to Montreal and our hotels and our train travel and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, you watched us do a night in Toronto where we went and saw Telltale Harbor. Highly recommend if you get to see that show. It was fabulous. Standing ovations throughout the crowd, listening to people talking about it as they left, that, some people had no idea what they were going to see, that they just have season tickets to the Royal Alexander Theatre, and they were just blown away by this production show. We were so happy that we were finally able to see it and had such a fun time in Toronto in the city. Great dinner that night. It was wonderful.
How can you live in Canada and not know Alan Doyle?
Well, not everybody does, but he's a pretty common household name in our home, that's for sure.
Yeah, so then we took the train, and we love taking the train. We've done it a couple of times now, and I think we're slowly getting addicted to it.
We got on we were lucky and got one of the new train cars. So last time we were on it, it was an older train car, still nice because it was business class, but this one was even a little higher end, a little nicer.
They serve you snacks, they serve you meals, they serve you drinks. You sit there, relax, you watch the scenery go by. It was a rainy day, but it didn't matter. It didn't make the road slippery for driving, didn't make it a problem for getting my plane there on time because I was in a nice, comfy train going down.
That's true. Yeah, we've had very good luck with Via Rail doing that.
Yeah, and then we ended up in Montreal. We stayed at the Embassy Suites. They're in the middle of a big renovation, which is perfect timing for us because we're going to have a bunch of people there for our Volendam cruise in September 26th next year.
We have a group booking for that.
So we went and gave it a try, and it looks beautiful, the renovations. And it's a perfect spot because you get into where the train station is in Montreal. And then there's the port, the old port you go to, and this hotel's right in the middle. So if you really want to, you can walk to the hotel like we've done before, and then you can get up in the morning and walk to the port if you choose to.
We did do that the last time. We didn't do it this time because it was raining, and we decided let's just take a taxi to the port. But the taxi was expensive. Yeah, it was an expensive taxi ride.
We probably should have
walked.
For
what it was. But anyways.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think it was a lot, the taxi. Yeah. So, we would have tip for you right there. We found that Uber was a lot cheaper than taxi in Montreal, so we should have Ubered, is what we learned.
Yeah.
After we got into the cab. And after that, we got some videos for Seabourn coming out this week. We did a review of Seabourn, so we go through in detail everything that we liked, we didn't like, and the Seabourn experience, so you can kind of see our take on it. And then right after that, you're going to see the first set of videos, the video come out for the Embarkation Day.
Embarkation Day, yeah.
Which will start the stream of all the different days, except the one day that we deleted all the footage for. Yeah, I think that was day 8, I think. So you're going to see days 1 through 7, and then you're going to see 9 and 10. Yeah. So,
sorry, guys.
That's the way it's going to roll out once they start coming out later this week. So that's the update on the videos. Quick Patreon update, and that is a couple things there. First of all, we had new patrons this week. We have Cliff and Debbie have joined.
Yes.
So they're part of our patron family now, and we're doing a couple patron cruises in 2026 and 27. I had some people last week ask about Patreon, and we said go to cruisingcanucks.ca and find all about it. I went to that website There was nothing about it, so we apologize. We thought our patron information was there, but it must have got changed when we were redoing the website.
It really, yeah. Sorry, guys. We led you astray. Mm-hmm.
So it is there now. I fixed it all.
Jerry fixed it all up. It's good to go.
So,
But, yeah.
And question and comment of the week. So I have to look closely here, so excuse my eyes. And it says, love taking the train to Montreal. By the time one gets to the Toronto airports, checks in and out of the airport, the train takes almost the same amount of time as driving or flying.
Yeah, we thought the same thing. That's why we've done it, because that's exactly was our mindset the first time we booked it was, well, by the time you get to the airport and get there in time enough before you go and go through all the security and deal with going through Pearson Airport and then getting into Montreal at that airport and then getting to Old Montreal. We thought, you know what? Let's just do the train. I think it's around the same time.
Yeah, it is. And
it was
driving's
seamless.
Yeah, driving's the same time. I think Toronto Montreal Drive is in around the 5-hour time as well, which is the same as the train, which is almost the same as flying when you figure airport time.
Yeah,
it's all about the same. So why not just sit back and relax and let someone else do the driving?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a wonderful experience if you can do it. We wish there was more trains across Canada because we would definitely take them. So there's an expensive one that goes out west.
Very, 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 very expensive.
And there's another one that goes all the way to Halifax. I've researched that one, but it's a little pricey too.
It's very expensive too.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm just looking and seeing.
Oh.
We'll get to the comment section.
Yeah.
We'll catch on.
Yeah.
And trivia question of the week. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Your neighbor booked a last-minute cruise deal for $199.
Mm-hmm.
And so the trivia question is, it's multiple choice. What does this mean?
I don't know.
A is you should fire your travel agent. That's option A. Option B, the cabin is a broom closet next to the engine.
Could be.
For $199, maybe they're embarrassed to admit the price ended up being $4,000 in the end when they added it all up. Or it's a booze cruise from Fort Lauderdale to Miami.
Yeah, most likely a booze cruise for sure.
What do you think? A, B, C, or D?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of leads to the theme of the today's topic.
Well, I would generally go with D. I am constantly getting pop-up advertisements on my phone and every other type of social media saying, book this cruise for $199. And then by the time you click through, that $199 is $3,200. Yeah. A lot of people are saying D. D. People
lots of D's, C's.
Mm-hmm.
I see Scott saying
Cruise, cruise, yeah.
Scott's saying that we should recreate the day we lost from their video. That we could act it out.
Mm-hmm.
You can put your swimsuit on, pretend you're by the pool.
You'll make me some strawberry margaritas, stuff like that.
Oh, so it of course is tongue in cheek. The I guess if there is a correct answer with all those, it would be C. That that people are embarrassed to say that by the end of the phone call, the price wasn't $199, it was $4,000. And we see this all the time. Mm-hmm. We hear it all the time. I think I hear it at least once every week or two.
Yes.
Where we have someone that comes up and says, oh, so-and-so I was talking to, they said they just managed to book a cruise. And it was like $199 a person. And then we're kind of waiting for them to say, well, but at the end it ended up being, but yeah, I don't think in this day and age you're going to get a $199 cruise unless it's extremely short, extremely weird repositioning.
A one-day cruise.
Yeah, I've seen actually cruises that are repositioning from like Vancouver to Seattle. You might be able to get those for $199 or
one
less.
night.
So, yeah, we moved on to deciding that we were going to talk about pricing in general as far as how that works. And it's a very tricky world, the cruise pricing thing. And I think that's why we've seen some of the states try to legislate some of that. I think it was California that started it all. Actually, before that, Canada has always had it in place. But in the States, it's been kind of slower to come, where people have been telling these travel agencies that they can't advertise $199 and leave out all the extras, that the cost is never going to be that price, right? And we see that all the time. In the cruise business, we see it all the time. But it's starting to get to the point now where they have to advertise the full price. So we're starting to see an evening up of that.
I just want you to click on the last comment that just came in,
Sure.
And it's very valid. Pam is saying it could be a casino offer. My cruise on the Summit tomorrow was for $166. So that is correct. We have heard that, and we verified that with many friends, that if you go to a casino and you get enough credits, you will get casino credits off, or casino cruise offers offered to you, and sometimes they are even $0 or, like what Pam is saying, $166. So you're right. That is the way to get a cheaper cruise, is the casino offers.
Yeah. And this doesn't include the casino offers. I guess when we're talking the pricing and the Black Friday stuff, then it's definitely not the casino offers. That, in fact, some people we know get casino offers that are free all the time. So that's another option, is doing the spend enough in the casino. Hopefully you win it back so that you do get the offers for balconies, insides. There's a variety of, actually, some of the casinos, what cruise was it on? Sun Princess? There was actually a chart in the casino that would show how much you'd have to spend in the casino to end up with certain offers at the end of the cruise.
Yeah. There is a formula to do it. We're not experts on it. We've only ever dabbled in the casino and left our donation there. But we do have friends and family that have been very successful at cruising with casino offers.
Yeah. So what we're going to talk about today doesn't include those type of things. There's also sometimes there are loyalty offers that come out that are not for everybody as well. So that can get you into a space where it's not the general public pricing.
Yes. I've often now, because of the loyalty level that we are with Holland America, we will get emailed offers for their cruises that are sometimes a little reduced. Generally, they're for cruises pretty far out in advance, and I'm talking a year to 2 years booking to get those offers.
Is that Bruno hair flying around?
There is a white hair flying around, but
it's still there.
Bruno doesn't shed, so I'm not sure what that is about.
It's not mine. I hope not. I can't afford to lose any more than what I've got. So let's get into pricing. I'm curious to know, first off, has anybody already booked something on a Black Friday deal? I'm curious to see.
Let us know if you've booked anything, as the deals have, or the pretend, or maybe they're real deals coming out in the last. There's been a lot of stuff coming through my phone anyway, saying that they're having their Black Friday specials right now. What
I started doing was my homework, because I really like the site Cruise Plum, because you can lay on, you can look at a cruise and what the pricing structure has been for the different categories of cabins all the time since the cruise has been for sale. So I can see whether it's been going up or down. And then I started thinking, I can do this for a lot of cruises. I might start looking at all the patterns. So that's what I did before we did this show. I thought, okay, I'm going to look at all the different cruises and try to figure out, is there any reality to Black Friday sales? Or there's other times a year where things always go on sale. We always hear about wave season, for example. We know during a lot of the big holidays, they do holiday promotions. And so we, kind of have tried to figure out when the best time is to book a cruise, just because we book so many of them. But the other thing is it worthwhile for Black Friday? We have a couple of cruises we've been keeping an eye on. We've been looking at the Coral Princess specifically, because I want to get on that ship and see what it's like compared to the island. And so we have a couple of cruises we've been watching, thinking maybe we'll wait till Black Friday. And then we started doing the research. Then we started thinking, maybe we should do a show about this, because what we thought might be an opportunity maybe isn't.
That's right.
So what we have noticed, so let's kind of clear the air of what we've kind of noticed without the research in the last several years, is that the cruise prices are not usually what the deals are at Black Friday, at least the ones that we've booked. And we do a lot of Princess, Holland America, that type of thing. It's the perks around the cruise price that are the promotions of what we've been finding.
Yeah, so Holland America is a pretty good example for it. We've noticed that there has been no price reductions in their actual offer of their cruise, but what they tend to do on Black Friday is they include your tips in the Have It All package if you get the Have It All package, which they don't always do. They just do it for certain promotions. And so Black Friday is one of those promotions where we've seen that happen, where all of a sudden your tips are included. And that's the only sort of included thing that, or the discount. Yeah.
And if you sail on Royal Caribbean and or Celebrity, since they're kind of grouped together, we see that they offer those same kind of promotions where it's Wi-Fi, for example. I just saw an email last night saying Wi-Fi, 55% off the regular price for Wi-Fi. So you can get deals on that type of stuff. It's really hard. It really is. When you look at the history of pricing, there is some cruises. I found Celebrity was a good example. I found several cruises in Celebrity. What I did is I went back to last year's Black Friday and compared the drops compared to the year after. And they had some drops right on the Black Friday timeframe heading into early December. So there is a few out there. I'm not going to say there isn't any. But what I also noticed, and is something I found when I kind of looked at all the charts and averaged it out, is that September to November timeframe, a lot of times, a lot of the cruise prices are slowly increasing. It's almost like they're increasing so they can get to a point where they can drop them near Black Friday, but they're really no different than what they were 2 or 3 months ago.
Exactly.
So we're not seeing the deals that, yes, I know that the websites will all say 70% off Black Friday special, but 70% off this elevated price really means you're not getting a savings compared to what you could book it. So
yeah. Do you want to go to a few comments? Let's sort of chiming into stuff you're saying
here.
Yep. You don't have times, but I'm looking at this one right here from Global Travelers. I'm going to just start reading. It says, "Hi, Jill and Jerry. We have found that the Black Friday deals are a bit of a scam. Prices aren't much better than usual. It's just a lot of clever marketing." And
that's kind of that's the the bold way of saying what I was just trying to say is that they kind of position themselves so that it looks like it's a deal, but it's not a deal. If you regularly book cruises, you realize it's not a deal.
That's right.
Yeah. What I found with Holland America, because you mentioned it as an example, was the average of all the Holland America cruises I looked at. If you book that cruise 12 to 16 months out, it's usually the best price you get, regardless of Black Friday deals and anything else.
That's right.
So that's an example for one cruise line right there.
Clicking on just one, there you go, right there. Yep. Yeah. And it says, it's from the Global Travelers. We first saw you on the Expert Cruise Show last week, and they talked about you again on today's episode.
Oh, wow.
They love you over there. So that's wonderful. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. And, we watched their episode last week, and we were thoroughly impressed with them. And so they're just sort of on our radar now to keep following and watching. But yeah, great channel. Check them out, the Cruise Expert Show.
I have to go check that out right after we're done with the live today. I'll go check that out.
Thanks for mentioning that. Yeah.
And is there anyone else?
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to see one. So we have one that says, I use Uncomp with my casino offers, and they matched from MSC. I got to book a Sky Princess for 7 days on January 11th for 200. Yeah. So again, the casino deals, if you're looking for a deal, that's where it is, but you've got to be committed to spending money in the casino. So when we did the math, personally, we thought it was sort of a wash, but
yeah,
because we never win.
Yeah, because I think casino deals are definitely going to get you better deals than any promotion throughout the year.
Yeah,
better than Black Friday, better than Boxing Day, whatever the promotion is. It's not going to match what you're going to get with a casino deal.
Yeah.
Natalie is up next, I see.
Yes, the inclusives of all the items like drinks and gratuities are great, and sometimes come from a travel agent. Oh.
There you go. I think there are some agencies that are big enough that they buy bulk space and they can get a little bit of a promotion like an onboard credit or something a little bit extra. That's another thing you'll see for Black Friday deals is going to be onboard credit will be another perk they throw at you as well. One thing that I think for a lot of people that have already booked and think, well, we booked ahead of time thinking it was a good price, but now we're worried that Black Friday is going to be cheaper. A lot of times these bookings require it to be a brand new booking, that you can't just call up and say, I've already got a booking. I want to book the Black Friday rate. It doesn't really work that way. They won't
allow you to do it. Yeah.
Now you can sometimes with some cruise lines you can just cancel outright if you have a refundable deposit and then rebook as a new booking. You can do that type of thing, but cruise lines are slowly trying to get away from people doing that and trying to kind of lock them in or make them wait for the deals.
Paul is saying, I looked at the ones that I was interested, the cruises that I was interested, but the price hadn't really changed from before their special price. As a solo traveler, I get dinged anyways. Yeah, definitely. There's not deals for solo travelers on most of the cruise lines.
Some cruise lines do it better than others for sure. But yeah, I what I have ever seen for solo travelers is the last minute deals. They've kind of gone away from almost everybody that it's hard to get the last minute deals. But for solo travelers, it's definitely there because a lot of times they're looking to kind of finally fill those cabins and they're willing to give it away without the single supplement charge, right?
Yeah, exactly. And our next one is, we agree with you. We've seen many deals that include extras, but no true price discount. Yeah. That's what we have been finding. Yep. And I will say, when we first started cruising, we actually did find Black Friday deals. We were very successful 3 or 4 years in a row of booking cruises, very last minute ones. We would wait till Black Friday and sail in December. We did that with our children multiple times, and we got some really good deals doing it. But we haven't seen that in almost a decade, maybe. Like even before COVID, that went away, in our opinion. Yeah.
I see Leighton's Life here is saying that most Black Friday sales are just regular after the pre-market Black Friday markup, right? That climb in prices right before Black Friday, and then the drop afterwards is supposed to make us think it's a discount. And I think, hey, Paul and Carol are here as well.
Hi, Carol. Hi, Paul. Saying they totally agree. Watching prices slowly go down or going up in the previous months to only drop a bit for Black Friday. Yeah, so that's what we've noticed.
Yeah, statistically, when I ran all the numbers for all the cruise lines jammed together, it really pointed out that from sometime in September up until early November is like literally the worst time of year to book a cruise for price. So
we should just not do it right now. Yeah.
But what I did see is if prices do drop on Black Friday or around that time, usually it doesn't just last for the holiday. That they go down and they remain down all the way into December a lot of times. So there's no panic to book it the day of Black Friday, I think is what I'm seeing when there is deals that show up.
Scott's agreeing with your analysis. You must like that when you get someone to agree with your math and your numbers.
Especially Scott. One of the most what researched cruisers I've ever met before is Scott. He follows very closely all the details. Yeah.
He's saying that last minute deals seem to be where it's at recently. So, I mean, we've been very successful at doing last minute deals in the past. It's been a long time, but there was one Carnival cruise that Jerry and I took that we booked it and we went on it the same week. I think we booked it on a Sunday and we flew out on a Thursday to get on a Friday cruise. So, yeah, if you can do that, that's great.
And Ruth is throwing in there also need to watch for non-refundable fares with the sales. So that's another thing. It can be good and bad, right? So if you're looking for a really good deal and you're willing to risk it and not have a refundable deposit, then you usually always get a way better price than if you want the one that's refundable.
That's true.
We're seeing that as almost regular business for the cruises now. I can go in and
I was just going to say, Princess is doing that almost all the time right now, which they never did. But this whole past year, we've noticed that almost every week when we're booking somebody.
Yep.
Paul is saying, from my limited experience, I've only been cruising for 6 years, but it appears to me that the best rate is when you book as soon as the schedule opens 2 years in advance. You're right. I think that that's what we've been seeing too. It's just hard knowing what your schedule is going to be like 2 years out. But if you can do it, you're right. That seems to be the best time to book.
Well, we mentioned Holland America, and Holland America booking early has several advantages. First of all, statistically, it can be the cheapest time that you ever can book that cruise is right early. Secondly, a lot of times they have the elite have it all package available if you book early enough as well. So you're going to get a better package that includes the tips at the best price. It's the best of all the worlds with Holland America. So I think in the future, when we look at Holland America, it's going to be likely to be something we book well ahead of time. And I think someone had commented here a second ago, Julia said that, either you book way ahead or you book last minute, but the last minute stuff's not available.
Right.
And I think what we're finding is that cruises are filling up.
They are.
And if you want a cabin at a certain spot on the ship, or you want a certain type of cabin even, and you want a specific itinerary, then waiting till last minute is a recipe for disaster, because we've tried doing that. And we're like, I guess we're not going to ever get on this ship. It's not going to work for us.
Well, we just booked someone this week for a cruise in May, and it was already at the point where they couldn't book a cabin because they were all booked up, that they could only just get a guaranteed room. And so that's, this many months out, and they're getting filled up that far in advance.
That's 6
so I think
months.
a lot of people are booking cruises a year or two out. We know a lot of our patron members and followers have commented that they do that. They book a year or two ahead of time, and they get a better rate. So because of that, it's really hard to book something 6 months out and get the type of cabin you want, or anything else for that matter. Yeah.
And I see here that the comment is that I think Teresa and Gus are saying that the casino deals are very confusing. You played only for $40, $170, and then received a casino offer for a free inside room if he pays the taxes and fees, right?
Oh, that's amazing.
And I've heard similar things that people kind of randomly seem to get this offer that they didn't think they really bet enough to qualify.
Yeah, I've definitely lost more than $40 in a casino, and I have not gotten an offer. So you need to let me know how you figured that out, Gus.
That's because they know you're coming back.
They know.
They don't have to offer you anything for free. You're going to pay.
Yeah.
Oh, and Peggy's saying that wishes she could do last minute cruises. Too much anxiety.
There is anxiety.
Yeah, you have to not be picky with cabins and everything else. That you really have to be willing just to go with the flow, because you never know what you're going to get.
That's right.
Sometimes you can be surprised and get a fabulous room and say, "Wow, I can't believe I got this assigned to me as a guaranteed room."
That's right.
Sometimes it's like, why am I next to the hot tub that's gurgling all night long?
Yeah. There you go. You never know.
I'm just looking to see here. Globe Trevor says Celebrity and Royal Caribbean allow you to adjust the price down from the current promotion and as many times as you like. We heard this on the Cruise Expert show.
Oh,
and it
until final payment. Well, there you go.
And one of the funny things is I remember years ago, Carnival used to have a promotion on when we were back booking Carnival, that one of the perks that you'd see pop up for a special would be the ability to adjust your fare at the lowest price. It was a guaranteed lowest price booking is what you would book with Carnival. So you'd watch, they wouldn't do it on their own. You'd have to watch the prices and call them up and say, hey, it's lower than what I paid, and you have to make them adjust it, but they would. But it's funny, that wasn't policy. That was just like a promotion that they offered you. Yeah. In other words, at the other times of year, you weren't allowed to do that, is what my take was from that.
Yeah.
So that used to be a Carnival thing years ago.
Well, it's good to know that Royal and Celebrity allow you to do that.
And Keith is saying, I don't think cruise lines are doing us any favors. Cruise we were planning on dropped in the headline price. Our travel agents investigated and found several inclusions had disappeared.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. We're finding that with clients. We'll have people that we've booked a cruise with and say, oh, so-and-so, whatever cruise line, Princess or Holland America, they just had this offer on now and it's cheaper than what I booked. And then when we go through all the steps and bring it up to them, it's actually $400 more than what they had booked. So you have to be very careful. And of course, just don't fall for that front page that you see where it's like $99 for whatever. You have to do all the clicks to all the buttons and find out that the end screen, what that says, and it's often not what you start it with.
Yeah. I always laugh because some of the current promotions make it like you'll book something, it'll be like you're booking it because it's 40% off the price, and you work it through and you book the cruise, and then 3 weeks later, all of a sudden there's a promotion on for 50 or 60 or 70% off. And you go through and you price it all out, it's actually more than what you paid at the 40% off. So clearly they're messing with their base price to make the promotions look the way they look.
It's kind of maddening.
It is crazy.
Kind of maddening.
Especially when if you're talking to someone who's new to the cruise business, it's very confusing for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why cruising has always had a bad rep. Like when we first got into cruising, a lot of people said, I won't cruise because there's so many extras there. I just want to pay one fee, like an all-inclusive, and not worry about the extras.
Exactly.
And they don't do themselves any favor hiding all these things with this kind of clickbait price that isn't really the price. Mm-hmm. And I think it turns off a lot of people from traveling on cruising because they just think it's all a scam, right? Yeah. So it's unfortunate because I think they offer good quality for the price they're charging. Just be upfront with it. Yeah. And I think what Keith says that they don't do us any favors, I think that part of the issue with that is that computers now and the travel business have not been a good combination for people looking for deals, because we saw with air traffic, we saw it with hotels, and now we're seeing with cruising that the pricing is very dynamic and based on demand. You're not going to get a cruise that is mostly full for a discounted rate ever, because they know it's selling out the instant people are buying the cruises. They even know now that when you're going on and clicking, we find this when we're booking flights.
Yeah.
We'll go on there and we'll start hunting for flights for a cruise that we've got booked. And you keep checking every day to see what the price is doing. And then I finally realized after reading some stuff and looking into it that every time I click to check a price, it considers that as someone that's interested, and it knows how many people are interested. And so they're raising the price on the ones that have the highest interest.
So the more often you look at it and the more often you click at it, the higher the price is going to go.
You're driving your own price up.
Try to just stay away from the computer and check it out a month later.
And that's why I like doing stuff like the Cruise Plum, for example, because it's not me going directly to the cruise line's website and giving them more interest, right?
Right.
And I play a bit of a game sometimes even with Delta. Hopefully Delta's not watching. Because
you have to worry about.
I'll go deliberately in there and I'll choose the wrong dates for my flights, but I'll choose that my dates are flexible. So I'll get this big grid of the pricing that's available, but I'll know the day I actually want, but I'm not admitting to Delta that's the date. So that's how I look to see. So
our strategy.
So that way I might be raising someone else's price that are flying on a different day, but I'm not raising.
If you're trying to get out on a Thursday, you better be careful, because Jerry's trying to get out on the Wednesday, so he's raising your price for that Thursday flight.
Yeah, and if you're going to hotels even and checking a hotel, or some sites even now, I noticed that you look at a hotel and it says on the bottom, 653 people have looked at this hotel, today
in the last 24 hours. Yeah.
So just the fact that the cruise or the hotels are telling you this. They're tracking it, and they're definitely using it to book their prices and set
They're trying to cause that travel anxiety, right? They want you to look at it. So I just went through that this week. We're trying to, for our group patron cruise in the Mediterranean this spring, we're trying to get our pre and post cruise plans in place. And so I was looking at hotels, and exactly what Jerry was saying. Oh, this hotel is highly sought after, usually sold out by this point. Only 2 rooms left. 10 people have looked in the last hour. Book now, because they only have 1 room left. I mean, they try to feed on that anxiety to get you to spend your money.
I would be surprised if cruises head towards that. I think in the future, you may click on a cruise website, choose your category of cabin you're looking at, right, and it's going to come up and say, book now, only 3 remaining at this price.
Right.
Right. I think we might actually see that to cause that urgency, right? Mm-hmm. What always catches me, and watch for this when you're looking for pricing for travel, if it says, like airlines are famous for this, only 4 seats left at this price. that doesn't mean there's only 4 seats left on the plane and you should book.
Right.
It means that tomorrow they're going to drop the price by $1 or raise it by $1. That does not mean there's only 4 seats left.
Or maybe in our experience by $600, because we've seen that too. So you got to read this last comment by Global Traveler. Says, I work in the airline business and it's the same volatile. I can't get it out. Pricing and cookie software just scams passengers. You need to use tracking software to get the best price when you book, and what they'll tell you.
Yeah, and that's what we've started doing. Like Cruise Plum, there's other sites like I know if you use Google, I think it is, and you can check for flights in Google, and then with that you can actually track prices for flights, and it'll even give you alerts when prices change.
Yeah,
I think that's what he's mentioning is he or she is that you need to kind of do that type of thing, because going in every day and just clicking to see what the price is, you're just destroying your own ability to get a better price.
Yeah, it's true. And Pam has a good question here for us. Do you get a better deal by booking the cruise while on board?
Hotly contested question.
A lot of people will tell you yes.
We've tried price comparisons for that. That we have been on board. We've gone down to see what the price is, gone back to our cabin. We've checked it out online, and we really didn't see any savings. We found the biggest savings was sometimes they'll throw extras like onboard credits, or they'll give you promotions where like buy this block of money for a cruise and use it later and we'll match it type of thing. So there is some of those things, and some do good deals. I think there is some that do it. I'll give you an insider tip though. There's a reason that you hear a lot about you should just book it online, and your travel agent might even recommend it. Because if a travel agent books you on that cruise and you book while you're on board, your travel agent gets that commission without having to actually do the booking.
That's right.
So when people are promoting you to book on board, there is something in it for them as well. But sometimes there is promotions and sometimes it's worth it. We've done it on Norwegian. We've bought the kind of package of buying cruises ahead of time with deposits and stuff where they match.
We've looked into it on other cruise lines, and generally what they, like Jerry said, generally the price point is no better than what you could book doing it on your own or doing it at home with your travel agent. But they might give you an onboard credit. And sometimes that onboard credit can be significant enough that it makes it worth your while. But I mean, there's been some times where we've picked a certain cruise and we went to see what sort of onboard credit would get, and they were only going to give us $25. And I went, well, for $25, I'm not going to put $500 down today or something. So you've got to check, you got to talk to them and see. But I know we've had a lot of followers say that they've done really well at booking it while on board and got a substantial onboard credit, like $500.
Yeah. So you have to
check it out
case by case. Yeah. Sometimes it's worth it. Sometimes it's not. It's kind of varies by cruise line.
Yeah.
I just threw up, Google Flight there is what I was talking about. I got the hiccups.
Drink your water.
Drink my water.
Baylor Girl is saying the only 3 available is not actually true all the time. I've had the cruise consultant will have other cabins a bit better available on their end. Yeah, so it's kind of interesting too. And like we know a little bit from booking with different cruise lines, some cruise lines will allow a travel agent to sort of hold a booking or hold a cabin for a day or two without a payment. And some will let you hold it for like 7 days. So if you've got a travel agent that's holding a whole bunch of cabins and then they'll eventually release them, then all of a sudden there's more availability. So if you see that there's only one available today, that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be sold out. Often some of those cabins that have been on hold will come available and you can get them later in the week.
We found an interesting game back, it was right after COVID, where Princess, remember they were blocking off huge blocks of cabins and it looked like there was hardly anything available. And then we realized that nobody was booked in parts of the ship. And it was because it was one of those where they sell the trip as a 7-day, or you can buy it as a 14-day, or you can buy it as a 21-day. So they kind of had that overlap going on of guests from different earlier bookings. And so it gave the perception that there wasn't any availability on the ship because they were holding blocks of space for other different time frames. So
then they released them closer to the final payment
and
date.
then the price went down.
Yeah. Global Travelers saying NCL is the worst for overcharging for extras. MSC the same. The charge for extras on board that end up doubling the cost of your cruise. We try not to spend a dime more than what we paid for up front. Yeah, and that's a trick that you've got to really weigh on your odds, because we've gone on cruises where we've just paid to get on the cabin, and like you said, you get on board and you're buying this and you're buying that and you're buying that, and so by the time you leave, your cost of your cruise is the same cost as what you paid to get on the cruise. Whereas there's been some others where we've paid all the money up front and had a totally all-inclusive package. I've had a $0 bill at the end of the cruise, and I think we might have come out ahead. So yeah, sometimes it's scary when you look at that price. You're like, oh, I can get on this ship for $1,000, but this one's going to cost me, $2,500. Well, there's a reason why it's $2,500, because you don't have to spend any money after that. So you need to keep that in mind when you're looking at it. And it all depends on how you cruise. If you want to be a cruiser that goes to all the specialty dining, has the higher end drink package, do excursions through the cruise ship, that's different than if you just want to go to the main dining room and not have a drink package, and you're just going to explore off the ship your own. You're looking at two different type of vacations, and therefore two different types of prices.
Yeah, I kind of have a policy when I get on board, because I'm really one of these people that's kind of put off by people trying to sell me stuff. Mm-hmm. So like if someone comes up to me trying to sell me something on a ship, it's like a red flag goes up. Like my answer is going to be no. It doesn't matter. I mean, if they're giving me something that's worth a fortune and they're giving me very little price, that my response is like, do you want to buy a package of specialty dining? No, thank you. Would you like to buy a photo package? No, thank you. Would you like to, right? Because that's going on a lot of cruises now.
Yes.
My answer is no. Because I'm thinking I've spent a lot. I know what I need on the ship. We've already planned for what we're going to be spending, and we're not going to just start adding stuff because someone came up to me in the buffet and said, would you like to buy this?
Right.
So they must do it because it must work.
Yeah.
But it's unfortunate because there's so much money that people are spending that, they're adding these extras that maybe if they booked it differently in the first place, they wouldn't have had to pay that when they went on board. Mm-hmm. Oh, I thought maybe there was another comment. Is there? People can't see Bruno anymore. He's passed out.
Oh, someone talking about Bruno?
He's so flat. Oh, I can just see him on the bottom of the screen.
Can you see him? I woke him up by moving his head. Yeah, he's having a good little afternoon now. Yeah, you'd think he was out chasing deer all day. How tired he looks. Yeah, he's our soft little puppy.
I just saw a comment here. I will say we've gotten some nice deals through the casino and on Royal ships for $199 per person.
Or less.
Because we pay, and all we pay is the taxes, right?
Nice, yeah.
And there is those deals, and ironically, like we are going on a celebrity cruise in 26. We haven't yet to kind of announce the details. Mm-hmm. But we booked that cruise for the two of us in Canadian dollars, so this is like $600 or $700 American for under $1,000 Canadian.
Yeah.
Like that's, and when we tell the price to people, people are looking at us like, oh yeah, you must have paid. Like they're thinking that we were talking about the clickbait price.
No, but that is the true price. But I think we might have to be doing laundry in the laundry room all night for that price. I'm not sure. No, we have we literally picked a guaranteed interior room. We have no idea where they're going to put us, what it's going to be like. But we thought for that price, heck, we had to give it a try.
No drink package, no internet, no nothing. We're just going on a ship. We have a cabin. But when you get on a celebrity ship, the food's fantastic that's provided. The entertainment's fantastic that's provided. Mm-hmm. And we're going to give it a try. And it's going to be, for that price, it's hard to stay home and go grocery shopping for that price, in my opinion, for 7 days. Mm-hmm. So it's a great deal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that's sort of the
comment that just came in here. Yeah,
there's enough free food on board. I don't understand why people pay for more food.
Yeah, and I always have that math in my head, right? When people are saying, let's do specialty dining, it's only like $30 or $40 or $50 a person. When you go home out for a restaurant, it's going to be that price anyways. It's no different than at home. And I stop and think, hold on. I've already paid for the food on this ship for that meal. Like, it's not like I'm going to go without if I don't pay for the specialty dining.
Yeah, our experience is when specialty dining started coming onto the cruise ships, the specialty dining restaurants were very reasonably priced because they sort of took in for account that if you're going to a specialty dining for dinner, then you're not going to be eating in the main dining room, so they don't have to provide you a meal there for free. So, I mean, the prices were very reasonable, but lately now it's not unheard of that specialty dining is $50 to $100 a night, depending on which place you're going to, and that's a little pricey add-on your cruise. You got to be careful; it can add up quick.
Yeah, that's American. That gets really scary when added into Canadian.
Yeah. So
the specialty dining, it's a nice experience. However, you got to be. There's some decent amount of money you're paying for that experience. It's not just a nice little perk to do. There's real cash involved with that, and there's so much good food. We found that on our recent Seabourn cruise that the dining room food was fantastic. It was like specialty dining. So if you choose the right cruise line that has great food, you don't need to pay for specialty dining, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, we've done it. We have, and it's a very personal choice, obviously.
Yeah, everybody cruises a little bit different. Some people, they don't cruise as much as us, so they go on board. They're going to do everything.
That's right.
Whatever you want to sell me, a pina colada and a coconut, for $25, I'll sell it. I'll buy it. It's
right.
Some people just they travel large because that's their one time to get away, and that's what it costs. They're fine with that,
exactly.
right? And some people are more thrifty with their money. They're trying to get a couple trips a year. They're trying to make their dollars go a little farther, so they're not looking to spend so much. And I think that's what I like about cruising is it gives you those options. It's not a one set price. So I guess a lot of people tune in and say, well, no, so when should we book a cruise?
Right.
What's the answer?
What's the answer, Mr. Travel Agent? What would you tell everybody?
I would say book it as early as you can. That's the first strategy, is just book it early, especially if you can get a refundable deposit. Most times you can early. You can often get a few extra perks for booking it early. Onboard credit, better packages. That's what I would do. And then I would say if I'm too late to book early because I don't have a chance to, also I know I've got travel I can do in 6 months from now, then what I found in my research is do not book 5 to 6 months out. That was the
most expensive time
was 5 to 6 months.
Finding.
So wait until after final payments due. Usually that's these days in and around 3 to 4 months. Yeah, once you get inside that 100-day range, you're starting to get to that sweet spot where they're going to realize we have inventory available. We need to drop the price.
That's right.
So I think it's the early or late strategy. I really don't think Black Friday or whatever the holiday is, it deals out, or any deal any week that you see advertised on a website is going to be the best price. I really don't think. I think it's going to be more strategic about choosing that. There's other ways to save money too. You can do repositioning cruises. We did that. We paid for it with bad weather.
I just can't even believe he just said that, because we literally have said we'll never do another repositioning cruise after our experience.
But technically the transatlantics are repositioning, and lots of people have done them with good experiences. Right. So it's not always a bad experience.
Okay.
So, and obviously what
I'm still a little traumatized by the seas, or the seas, and how rough of a sailing we had on our repositioning cruise. We've wanted to do a repositioning cruise for years, and the weather gods were not with us. It was awful. And so, I just can't even believe that came out of your mouth right now. I got to walk away from it.
I was going to give you as one option of many, right? So that's one option. The other option is, I find this is our best strategy, is to know when the cheapest time of year is to cruise, when the lowest prices are there. Like we know right now, the reason we're going in a December cruise to the Caribbean coming up is right before Christmas and after the U.S. Thanksgiving. I always find cruises are almost at their cheapest they are all year long. So we booked a cruise that would normally be a lot more money, but we're getting a really good price because of the time of year. We also know the same thing's true, that if you book in late January, February after the Christmas holidays, but before you start getting into Valentine's Day and March break, that's kind of a sweet spot. We also found that traveling in the summer, ironically, to the few cruises that do Caribbean or the ones that do Alaska, those are premium prices. So you're going to pay more for those. Same with Europe. You get into July, August, it's going to be expensive in Europe. So kind of choosing the time of year that you're traveling, I find gives you bigger discounts than just looking for a deal. I think timing cruise pricing is no different than timing the stock market.
But I have to say this. As Jerry says, that, yes, timing, you can get it cheaper. But yes, we booked our repositioning cruise when we did because financially it was able to work into our pocketbook. But I think there's no amount of money that I would have paid to avoid what we went through on that rough seas. So that's why I'm saying maybe the cheapest deal is not always the best deal. You might have to pay to have the vacation that you dreamed about than trying to get the best deal. So that's just my 2 cents worth. But I know if Jerry says to me, oh, I found a really cheap cruise going to Montreal November 1st next year, you want to go? The answer is no. No. There's no chance I'm going to do that again. I don't care if it saved us a couple $1,000s. I won't do it again. So you've got to play that into your head too. This is your vacation. You're already putting a bunch of money into it. Do you want to go as cheap as you can and have a horrible experience, or do you want to make sure that you have a wonderful vacation? So that's where my head is now after what we just went through.
Another strategy is to save money. Don't travel on the latest, greatest cruise ships that just came out.
The newest ones.
They're often way more money.
That's true.
If you go back to the smaller, older ships in the fleets, you can have a wonderful experience and at a discounted price. So that's kind of what we've been doing lately too, is booking some smaller, older ships. We've loved them, and we've loved the price. So that's another strategy you can use. So I think there's other factors to help get cruising more affordable, as opposed to just watching for the sales. So I guess what I'm saying at the end, I'm not really super excited about Black Friday deals. I know there's a lot of people making a lot of noise about it, and that's just the nature of Black Friday sales. And, I've been checking my Amazon every day to see if anything on my list is on on sale, right? But as far as cruising, I'm finding it really tough to get a deal that I would want to tell anybody about. So that's just the way it's going. But I see someone asking how I get so much vacation. How do you get
He
so much?
works a lot of overtime.
I work at, lucky or not lucky, I work at a job where I do not get paid overtime, but I get the time off in lieu. So when I do a ton of overtime, that gets added to my vacation time. So that's how I'm able to get a few more days off than what you might typically have in a normal job, is because I don't get paid overtime. So
Yeah, that's right.
And with the comment about the transatlantic?
They did a transatlantic October, and the weather was not bad as I thought it would be. The 4 sea days were the best. We did hit the hurricane the last sea days to Port Canaveral. There you go.
That's the advantage, I guess, of doing transatlantic in the spring versus the summer, right?
In the spring,
or the fall.
In the spring, you wouldn't be worried about hurricanes.
Hurricane season. I think overall the water temperatures might be a little cooler going across to Europe, but I think at the end of the day, you're not going to have the hurricane activity you have risk of in the fall.
Yeah, maybe you can convince me to do a transatlantic from Fort Lauderdale in May going to Europe. But yeah, I doubt I'm getting on a cruise ship in October, November, unless it's right in the Caribbean after my last experience.
There you go. Repositioning from like London to Rome. That'd be not too bad. No hurricanes.
No, yeah.
Well, it depends.
That Bay of Biscay, I say it right? I've seen some pretty wild YouTube vlogs about people cruising through there. That could be pretty nasty too.
So I guess the takeaway, try to ignore all the crazy sales things. Look for the perks that might get included, because that adds some value. Use the tracking sites, Cruise Plum, Google Flights, there's a whole bunch that are out there if you go and hunt for them.
Yeah.
To try to track the prices so you're not hitting their website every day and causing your own price to go up. I think if you and control when you're going and what size ships, I think you can kind of get control of the price thing with cruising still. It's not out of control completely. But yeah, so Black Friday, I'll be enjoying some time with family, but I'm pretty sure I won't be pricing out cruises.
Well, I don't know. He prices out cruises every day of the week. So what? Why Black Friday would he not? Right? But you're right. We haven't not booked cruises the last few months because we're waiting for Black Friday. We've seen a deal and we booked a cruise.
Yep.
Hence why we will be going on Celebrity next year, and we'll tell you guys more about that later.
So I think that's it for today. I think we've discussed it. And I'm seeing a comment about your Bay of Biscayans being the worst yet.
See, Bay of Biscay, that can be some scary crap.
So we're trying to get back to weekly schedule, but life's getting in the way between cruises and other things. So next week, actually, for the American Thanksgiving, we're off doing some family stuff as well. Even though we're here in Canada, we're still going to be doing some family stuff. So there won't be a live next weekend.
Right.
So it'll be 2 weeks until our next live. But at that time, we're going to talk about our next cruise, which we're really excited about.
We are so excited for it.
We are going on our first Azamara cruise.
Yay!
So come back in 2 weeks and we'll tell you all about our Azamara adventure and what we're hoping to get from that.
Oh, Charlene and Glenn just made a comment as we're going. They just got off of the Sun Princess a few hours ago, and the weather was absolutely gorgeous every day. I hope you guys had a wonderful, wonderful cruise with your family. Excellent.
There you go. See, weather's not a big concern after all.
No, see, in the Caribbean.
Okay, so thanks everybody for joining, and we will see you in 2 weeks, and we'll talk a little bit about Azamara and answer your questions and tell you what we got coming up right before the Christmas break.
Bye for now.
Bye, everybody.